If you want to learn how to use hashtags for Facebook and LinkedIn, you come to the right place. I'm excited to show you how, so stick around. Hey guys, welcome back. It's your host, Jen Marilla, and welcome to my YouTube channel. If you're new, don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell if you're excited to learn how to use hashtags for Facebook and LinkedIn. Now, if you want to know how to use hashtags for Instagram, check out my latest video on how to use hashtags for Instagram. All of the tips and everything that you need are there. Now, before we get into it, I'm going to teach you guys how to use hashtags for Facebook, and then I have a special guest who's going to teach you guys how to use hashtags for LinkedIn because she really is the expert. My friend Brittany Crystal, and she is amazing. She's been killing it in the LinkedIn game for a while. She has a course which will be in the description below that you guys can totally check out if you're interested, and I highly recommend it because it's definitely helped me grow my LinkedIn and take it to the next level. But don't worry, we'll get into her later, so make sure you stick around for that. All right, so let's get to Facebook, guys. So the truth about Facebook hashtags is people don't really use them. One of my biggest pet peeves, and everybody will tell you this that knows me, is when people push their Instagram content to their Facebook content, like automatically. That is a no-no. No. No, 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 no. We don't do it. Why? Because it's lazy and it looks sloppy. And you don't need all those hashtags, so don't do it. What I recommend my clients to do is to copy and paste what you put on Instagram and manually put it on Facebook. I know it'll take you like an extra 2 minutes, but it's totally worth it. And you should tweak it because the way you speak to people on Instagram is not the way you speak to people on Facebook. So just remember that. With hashtags on Facebook, the only reason they are valid and I recommend using them is if it's something important or it's a very popular hashtag. So for example, if it's Valentine's Day or it's Christmas, you could put hashtag Merry Christmas, hashtag Valentine's Day, hashtag Happy Birthday. That is totally fine. Another way of using it is if you're a content creator and you want to curate content that's organized. If you had a video series that you were putting together, so let's say you were going to teach top 10 tips to sales or something like that, and you're a content creator, you can create a really cool hashtag like hashtag money sales or queen sales or whatever. Come up with something more creative, you guys. Don't listen to me. But you can use that hashtag in Facebook to curate all the content in one place, because what happens is when you click on that hashtag, it'll share all the posts, all the stories, all the videos, which makes it so much easier to find content. Another thing to keep in mind is if you have an event or you're a major company, you want to keep track of everything. Hashtags are a really good way to use them on Facebook to have that information pulled all together. Got it? All right, so without further ado, let's talk to my friend Brittany because she knows the tea about LinkedIn and how to use those hashtags I know nothing about. So let's go talk to Brittany.
Hey, Brittany.
Hey, Jen. Thank you for having me.
I'm so happy that you're here. This is going to be awesome. So guys, like I said before, Brittany Crystal, she is the creator of the LinkedIn Laws, and she is a LinkedIn queen, and she's going to teach us everything there is to know about LinkedIn. But Brittany, tell our audience a little bit about you and what you bring to the table before we get into it.
Well, thank you again for having me. So like Jen said, I'm Brittany Crystal. I'm a personal branding and growth expert and the host of the Beyond Influential podcast. And I specialize in helping busy entrepreneurs and business owners build a brand online that gets you the real life results that you want in your life and business. And I make it as effective, efficient, and as less overwhelming as possible. And I've worked with a few people, I don't know if you told them in the past, but I definitely have real experience in this space. And yeah, I love this stuff. Like this.
Well, tell them who you worked with, because I actually didn't share. I don't remember if I shared that.
So I've worked with Gary Vee in the past on his personal brand team. I've worked with Marie Forleo on her brand and Tom Bilyeu. And then basically I've worked for around a decade in just personal brand and content strategy. And so yeah, I've kind of moved over the last few years into doing it not only for myself and kind of eating my own dog food that way, but making sure that I could teach people who couldn't have their own teams at this point how to do it themselves, because I know how important personal branding is for literally everyone. And I wish that I had this knowledge and that this was around when I basically started my career.
Yeah. Oh my God. Tell me about it.
Well, I don't know if people know that we met because I used to be a lawyer and I knew your sister. And so I've definitely had the whole career transition thing that I think a lot of people do want. And now it's easier than ever. Like you don't have to go through the hoops that I had to go through at the time to switch careers. I'm not even that old.
To go through like teaching ourselves everything and anything now it's all at like our fingertips.
It's so crazy because I'm thinking about, so I graduated law school, almost 10 years ago. And that was when Instagram came out in 2010. So it's wild to think about what's happened.
Oh my God, that is wild.
Yeah.
Okay, so just to be clear, well, talk to us about why LinkedIn is the platform to be on before we get into how to use hashtags and stuff like that.
So pretty much I'm working for Gary. Actually, this is good context. I had to learn how to be everywhere and anywhere. I learned a lot about how to take a piece of content and repurpose it across platforms, basically saving people time and energy. You don't need to reinvent the wheel all of the time. And so as I was kind of doing this for other people, I had to be paying attention to every platform, and platforms that, every platform is specific to different types of audiences. You have to tweak content and make it appropriate for each platform. And so I was paying attention to it. And so I was posting on LinkedIn for clients and that I was working with at the time.
Right.
And then I just noticed things started changing. LinkedIn started making changes and updates to the platform. And it got super exciting because there's a ton of white space. They added native video. Their algorithm is one of the most friendly algorithms that exists. It's really crazy. LinkedIn itself is SEO gold. Right now, even if you just make some small tweaks in terms of your profile, you can drive tons of inbound traffic, grow your list. It just really was an open white space that basically I was seeing firsthand for clients, and then I was testing it out on myself, and it was just working very fast. Basically, that was it. From LinkedIn, I was able to move off from trading time for money.
Yeah.
To creating content and online courses and pivoting my entire business. And I do owe that to LinkedIn. And
well, that's awesome. Yes.
Yeah. And it's one of those things that I just want to say that people think that it's for corporate people. The people I deal with, it is entrepreneurs. If you're an entrepreneur or a coach, a blogger, an influencer, whatever it is you do, it is the perfect time to be using it. It's still I've been doing this now, focusing on LinkedIn or balancing it for the last couple of years, 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
And the amount of time that I spend there for the actual growth that I've seen is crazy. I spend around an hour a week on the platform in general.
Yeah.
Just around the amount of time sometimes it takes to write an Instagram caption.
Yeah. Oh my God, that's ridiculous. Okay, well, so let's get into it. I want to know how to pick the best hashtags, where to use them, how many to use, and when to use them. So shoot.
So hashtags, what's so great about LinkedIn is they've been making these changes more recently. So basically they were acquired in 2016 by Microsoft. So then they started focusing on content creation. And as they've been focusing on that, they've been adding all these different elements. So hashtags are actually new since 2018. So because they're new, people don't always know necessarily how to use them appropriately on the platform. Right. So as far as the hashtag strategy goes, it's actually pretty easy to trend on the platform if you're doing it right. And so that's what we're going to talk about. But there's no limit to the max amount of hashtags you can use. But I would say that the max amount of hashtags you should definitely use is 6. I normally use 5 or 6. LinkedIn itself, if you look up their best practices, they say 3. Mm-hmm. I'd say 5 or 6 has been working really well. And it's a mix of larger, more broad hashtags. Let's say you do hashtag entrepreneurship, mm-hmm. and maybe some more niche ones. And the thing is, on LinkedIn, what's more niche are a lot of times hashtags that would be huge on Instagram.
Right.
And so just the level of content creation on the platform, and also the level of people even making content at all,
right,
is just so open right now on LinkedIn. So that's what's so great. So if you're a blogger, you're an influencer, you're a coach, you're somebody who's maybe not classically a LinkedIn user who you'd think of,
right,
it's super easy to be trending there. I feel like I'm giving away all the secrets, but it's so true. And so you can use a hashtag entrepreneurship, but you can also do a hashtag. I had it open. Even hashtag business coach only has around 6,000 people following it.
Oh,
You can
wow.
also follow hashtags and all of that different stuff. But the other thing I recommend, let's say you're doing 5 or 6, is also having maybe a personal hashtag, like hashtag Brittany Crystal, or hashtag related to whatever it is your name is or your brand. Because the content isn't as sophisticated on the platform, it's also harder to search for content, and the hashtags will help with that too when people want to find you or go back to like your old videos or whatever it might be.
Very
So I'd
cool.
recommend that too.
Cool. I did not know that. Okay, cool. And when to use them?
Okay, so you use them whenever you're posting content, but when you hit status update, it also gives you, I can also share my screen for what this looks like. So I would go to here with share your thoughts, and this is status update. And right here, I don't know if you can see it, it says add hashtag
Yep.
to help people see your post. LinkedIn definitely it's incredible for just organically introducing your content to other audiences. Like I said, algorithm's super friendly. So depending on what you're talking about, if I click add hashtag, here are some that have been related. The algorithm already knows that
Got
I'm
it.
probably going to use hashtag personal brand. Here's hashtag LinkedIn tips. These are some suggestions. But as I start typing, it is important for your hashtags to be contextual to what you're posting, just for the sake of growing your audience. As I do type out, let's say I'm typing out a caption, it actually is changing up the hashtags that it's suggesting. It's not always a perfect science with what they're suggesting, but it doesn't hurt also that they're suggesting them.
Yeah.
So I would definitely pick maybe 2 from here and use it as kind of the jumping off point.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much, Brittany. This was awesome. You guys check out her LinkedIn Laws. It's the course in description below. You do not want to miss this course. It is awesome. It helps you more deep dive into the strategy of how to use LinkedIn and how to get your brand out there. And you heard it from the expert herself that this platform is underutilized and take advantage, basically, right? Anything else you want to add, Brittany, before we jump off?
That is all. Feel free to reach out to me, and I love you, Jen.
Thanks for jumping on. I'll also add Brittany's information. So if anybody wants to reach out on her Instagram or her LinkedIn or her website, all that will be in the information below.
All right, so there you have it, you guys. You've heard from the queen of LinkedIn herself, Brittany Crystal. Love her to pieces. She's freaking awesome. Again, check out her course below in the description. Trust me, it's a no-brainer. You should definitely check it out. With that being said, I hope that this was helpful. I hope that you enjoyed this video. Give me a thumbs up if you did. Please don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell for next week's video. Until next time, you guys, I hope to see you soon. Have a beautiful and blessed day. Bye. You want to keep everything, you want to keep queen sales or, you know, I don't know, wait. So for example, if you had a video, sorry.